This is the JBL Charge 5, the latest in JBL's Charge line of speakers, which are often highly regarded, and the Charge 5 is no exception. But with a price hike over the previous generation Charge 4, is it still worth buying? Welcome to my tech gear. Let's find out. We look at the design of this, it is very similar to JBL's other line of speakers. So if you have a look at the JBL Flip 6 or the JBL Extreme 3, they're all very similar. JBL logo very much front and center in the front, which may not be to everybody's taste, but I don't actually mind it. On the black version at least, it is a little bit understated. Outside of that, the design of this is rock solid. There is a fabric grille that goes all the way around the outside, and that helps with the waterproofness, which I'll get to later. We have these rubber ends which not only help it stand up on its side if you want it to, but it also helps protect the passive radiators that are on either side of this speaker. And underneath we have this anti-slip grip, which means that if you're going to put it on a surface, it's going to stop it falling off once the music starts playing. All the buttons for the speaker are on top, where we have our on-off button and our Bluetooth pairing button. We have our volume up and down either side of that. We've got our play, pause and skip button, which is the single button up here, as well as a party boost function button that's down here, which I'll get to in a little bit. And as I previously mentioned, there are these two passive radiators on either end, which really help with the bass emphasis in these speakers. And on the back, we have a USB-C charging port, which is great because not only is it USB-C, but it is also waterproof as well, so it doesn't have to hide behind a protective cover, which means it's easier to get to day in, day out when you're charging this. There is also a USB-A port though, and that is under this cover here, and that is used for charging your external devices from the speaker. So it's probably no guess as to why it's called a Charge 5. One change on the Charge 5 from previous generations though is that there is no longer a 3.5mm audio jack in the back. And this is a trend that we are generally seeing across all speakers, so it's no real surprise, but it does mean that if you are needing that 3.5mm jack, you need to look elsewhere. Due to the construction of the speaker, we now see something that is not only just waterproof, but dustproof as well. So it is IP67 rated, which means it will be okay in water up to 1 meter for up to 30 minutes. So if you drop this in a pool, in your bath, in the sea, well, it's gonna be okay. This speaker also sees an improvement to Bluetooth 5.1. So that's going to give it a better range of up to 100 meters, and it allows you to connect to two devices at the same time. And it also means that there's a lower battery drain than previous versions because 5.1 is more efficient than earlier versions of Bluetooth. And the battery in here is a 7,500 milliamp hour battery that will give you up to 20 hours of battery life, and that's based on 50% of volume. So if you're going to play it louder than that, the battery will last less. And when you've completely run out of power, then this will charge up to full in about 4 hours. And on the top here, we have the Party Boost button. Now that allows it to pair with up to 100 other JBL speakers at the same time, which is nuts. And I'm not too sure when you're going to have 100 JBL speakers just lying around. However, if you're at a party, you've got a few lying around your house, wanting to play music at the same time, it's a great and easy way to connect all your speakers. However, the Party Boost feature only works with certain JBL speakers. So it will work with a JBL Flip 5, Flip 6, Pulse 4, Boombox 2 and the Extreme 3. So the JBL Party Boost will not work with older JBL speakers that use the old JBL Connect Plus functionality to essentially do the same thing. So that is a little bit disappointing. So if you are looking to add this to your existing JBL collection, then it's something to bear in mind. Sound-wise, the JBL Charge 5 is definitely an improvement over previous generations of the Charge speakers. There is 40 watts of power in this speaker now, and that is split between 30 watts dedicated to the main driver in here, which is a 52 by 90mm driver, which is slightly bigger than earlier versions. The biggest change inside here is the 20mm tweeter, which allows it to focus on the highs, and that has 10 watts of power, so 40 watts all up. So what you've got in this speaker now are two passive radiators, the main woofer and a tweeter, all focusing on different aspects of your sound to give you an improved sound profile, and it definitely makes a difference. There is an openness and a wideness to this soundstage that you did not get with the previous generation because it only had the one main driver. So I will let you hear just a quick sound snippet of this, but just bear in mind that you are listening to these on your speaker, which is a recording of a YouTube compressed video, which is taken from my mic recording these speakers. So take the perceived sound quality with a pinch of salt, but hopefully it helps a bit.
Maybe it's a new beginning. Maybe it's the start of where it ends. I know. It comes down to all or nothing. This time it's for real, we can't pretend. You know.
There is a JBL portable app that you can have on your phone that connects to these Charge 5s, but there's not too much you can do with it. There's no sort of EQ built into it or anything like that. The only thing you can really do is change your name. You can do firmware updates on your speakers, which I actually think is a good thing. So if they improve this, good to know that this will actually get updates. You can also switch your party boost mode between mono connections, or you can set 2 of these up as a stereo pair. So now we get to price. First up, there are 6 different color options available for this, from your standard black through a range of other colors all the way through to a camo color, which I think looks pretty cool. The price for all of these, regardless of your color, is going to be $180, but you can often see it on sale for around $150, sometimes less if you keep an eye out. But even at full retail price of $180, this is still a really good Bluetooth speaker. So should you buy it? Well, the JBL Charge 5 is better than its predecessors, and it is market leading in its segment. This is a solid speaker. I have had previous generation Charges, and I just love the sound profile of those speakers, and this ups the game because not only do you get more clarity with the sound, but these go a lot louder because you've now got that 40 watts of power as well. With improved sound, great battery life, and a rock solid build, you will be hard pressed to find a better Bluetooth speaker for under $200. I will place purchase links to it in the description down below so you can go check it out for yourself. If you're interested in a mains powered speaker instead, then be sure to check out my review of the Sonos One up here. Thanks for watching. If you have enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like and share it. Consider subscribing if you're not. And as always, see you in the next one.